In this episode of the Savvy Agent podcast, we have a question from one of our listeners. Carla wants to know if there's a way she can incorporate video in her business without having her face be on camera. Carla, I got you. It's hard to get started making videos if you're not comfortable with what you look like on camera. I totally get that. This episode is going to be all about making quick educational videos without having your face on camera. Welcome to the Savvy Agent podcast, where we help real estate agents build a thriving business so they have financial freedom in their life without having to work 24/7. I'm your host, Heather Wright. Now let's get to it. Sometimes you truly don't need to be on camera to get your point delivered via video. Think about what conversations you're having repeatedly. For example, I use a timeline for sellers to talk about the process of selling. I've said it so many times when presenting to sellers that I could probably recite it in my sleep. So I recorded a screen share video using Zoom and just shared my screen with no video of me, and I walked through the process. I think I did edit this video, so the particular step that I was talking about was highlighted with a circle, maybe even zoomed in on it. You can easily edit out any mistakes on the back end and add some after effects like zooming or highlights or whatever. And then I uploaded that to YouTube. Now, I don't have it as a public link on my YouTube channel because I only want it to go to sellers that I have an appointment with. It's not something that I want everybody to have access to. So it's special. And because of that, I have it set up so that if you have the link, you could see it. So when I have an appointment coming up with a seller, I send them that link and they can watch the part of the process in advance of me coming. So maybe we can spend more time talking about their questions about the process, just being a little bit more efficient with the listing appointment process. If you don't have a seller timeline, I have a one-sheet seller timeline that I normally include a link that they can download a copy of it. If I'm going to the listing appointment, I'll take a printout copy of that for them then. But if you don't have a seller timeline, you could easily make a PowerPoint presentation talking about each step of the process or a Canva presentation. But the bottom line is you don't actually have to be on camera to do this video. You could also do a tour of a property without being on camera. A regular tour of a listing might actually be too long and kind of boring, but does it have a fabulous kitchen or a kick-ass backyard? Why not do a video of those features and you never have to be on camera? They can hear your voice talking about those features and the excitement that you project, but it doesn't have to be your face on the camera. The other day I met with a seller, and I usually try to have a preliminary price opinion when I meet with them. But on this one, I just couldn't get it together. He had told me that they had unfinished projects. I didn't really know what exactly I was going to walk into. So I decided to do the price after seeing the property, a two-step listing appointment. We met on Sunday. I toured the house. We talked about the process of selling and had a great meeting, just building that relationship. I promised him and his wife that I will have the market analysis to you by Tuesday. And today is Tuesday. That's the day that I'm recording this podcast. And earlier I sent them an email with a Loom video walkthrough where Loom was recording my screen, reviewing the reports that I wanted to share, as well as the estimate of proceeds. And let me tell you, there's so much value in hearing me explain things on the Loom video versus just reading numbers on a spreadsheet or looking at an ugly MLS market analysis. I recorded that video with bedhead and no makeup. How about that? What about contract videos? I haven't met with a buyer to write a contract in person in I don't know how long, a couple of years probably. Everyone wants to sign electronically and no one seems to care what the contract says, but I care. It's my fiduciary duty to at least give them what they need to understand it. So for my buyer clients, I'll write up the contract, fill in the blanks, and then I'll record a Loom video and run through the .loop documents to explain it to them. I'd say it takes maybe 10 to 15 minutes for me to review and say everything I have to say about, oh, this is really important, click here, blah, blah, blah. And it also gives me a chance to double check my work in real time. If I didn't send the Loom video, of course, I would go back in to double check my work, but somehow going through the contract as though presenting it in person to your buyer, it just gives you better attention to detail. Now, if the buyers don't want to watch the video, hey, that's on them. Speaking of buyers, my market is moving incredibly fast for buyers. And I want to make sure my first-time buyers especially are as prepared as possible so they have the best chance to win in a multiple offer situation. Repeat buyers get the same treatment, but they kind of usually have an idea of what is going on and what they need to do. But first-time buyers, they don't have a point of reference for anything that they're about to experience. So think about, what are all the things that a buyer needs to know? Well, they need to know about earnest money, their home inspection or due diligence period. What happens if it doesn't work out? There's, I'm sure, a breach of contract paragraph in your contract. Homeowners association stuff. What should they pay attention to? What should they not pay attention to? And there's probably nothing they shouldn't pay attention to, but what does all of that stuff actually mean? If you focus on new construction, are there builder contracts that you could share information about? So, call certain items to attention so that people can become aware of those in advance. What about home warranty? Which home warranty do you recommend? How many home warranties out there are available for them to choose? We're in an abstract state. So, we end up having a title opinion. I know everybody else in the world uses title companies, but is there anything about that process that a buyer should know about in advance? You could do videos on all of these things without actually having your face on camera. PowerPoint on each topic, or just show that paragraph on the purchase agreement. And they don't have to be long videos. They can be nice and short because nobody has an attention span anymore. You should do whatever works best for you because you'll probably upgrade your process in the future. So whatever works for you today is totally fine. Zoom is 100% free with no time limit on videos if you're the only one on the call. You can also easily record a screen share video without having your face on camera. I actually record all of my on-camera videos in Zoom because I enjoy the little filter that they have built in to touch up my appearance. Personally, I have a paid Loom account, but you can use it for free with a few limitations. If you use the free version, you'll be limited to 5-minute max length videos. But that's long enough for these short explainer videos. Maybe not for reviewing an offer though. I think you can have up to 25 videos in the free version too. It will definitely be enough to test Loom to see if you're interested in upgrading to a paid version. I use Loom all day long in my business too. If I need to show my assistant how to do something, I send a Loom. If I am showing the team a new way if I'm changing a rule or something, I send a Loom. If I'm submitting a ticket for tech support to a company, I'll include a Loom video so they can see what I'm talking about. So it's going to be pretty easy to hit those video limits once you start getting the hang of Loom and how easy it is to use. If you use Zoom for your videos, whether your face is on them or not, you're going to need to take an extra step to share that link with the end user. So whether that's uploading it to your YouTube channel as a private video or an unlisted video, or maybe you want to upload all of your explainer videos to a folder in Google Drive and just share a link to that, or Dropbox, something along those lines. It's still an extra step that you have to take. Loom, the beauty of Loom is that once it's done recording, you can click the link to copy it, and then you just shoot it off in an email or Slack or whatever, however you're communicating with whomever you're sending the video to, and it's automatically a link that plays on Loom. There's also probably a lot of other screen share software available. I know I also have a Chrome plugin for Searchy, but it's because I have a paid Searchy account. That's how we have the searchable videos in Savvy Agent Club, and I get my SRT files for my videos through Searchy, which happens to have a screen share service very similar to Loom. But if you don't have Searchy, Loom is a lot more affordable. So if for some reason Loom or Zoom, neither one of them work for you, there's probably other options out there. Don't let the software get in the way of you starting. Do whatever is easiest to start now. These are just a few examples of how you can make videos in your business without having to be personally on camera. However, I would encourage you to get over that fear of being on camera. People are going to figure out what you look like sooner or later. And with the right lighting, I bet you could learn to love your on-screen look. Until then, you should absolutely start making whatever kind of videos are easy for you to do. I find the Loom videos to be quick and easy, especially for giving instructions or reviewing contracts. Don't get hung up on imperfections. Those actually make you and your videos a lot more likable. And if you've got a question you'd like featured on the Savvy Agent podcast, email us at podcast@savvyagent.co. We'll talk to you next week.